So you've decided to make the decision to buy or invest in a home and are now wondering, where do I even start?
Should I call a realtor? Should I just do a search online myself? Should I speak with the bank first? Do I even need the bank? How about if I see a home I like online? Is there a tax I gotta pay? How do I make an offer? When do I get the key?
Buying a home and the entire process that comes with it can be long and overwhelming, but don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, I'll guide you through the entire process from start to finish with a complete step-by-step breakdown so that you'll have everything you need to confidently navigate this journey. As a bonus, if you stay with me till the end, I'll give you access to my signature step-by-step home buying guide. Now let's get started right now. What's up everyone, it's Fady here with LePage Signature. I'm a local real estate agent here in Toronto and the GTA, and I help people just like you and you and you and you who are ready to embark on their home buying journey but are just not sure where to start. If at any point in this video you have any questions about the real estate market here in the GTA, drop them in the comment section below. You can also reach out to me using the contact information in the description below, and I'd be more than happy to help. Now let's get right into it. Step number 1, hire a real estate team. The first step in the home buying process is finding and hiring a real estate team. This team will consist of 2 key players, a realtor and a lender. The realtor is going to be your guide through the entire home buying process. They'll help you with the actual home search for the home, negotiate with sellers, and walk you through every step of the way. Think of them as your personal tour guides on this journey. That being said, this will be the person that you spend a majority of your time with during your search, whether it be in person or on the phone. So make sure that you don't rush this step and make sure you choose someone who you do get along with. You can find realtors such as myself by watching videos like this one online, getting referrals from friends or family, or by simply doing a quick Google search in the areas that you're interested in. Now let's not forget about the lender. This could be a bank or a private company that is going to provide you with the funds to buy your home. They'll work with you to determine your budget, get you pre-approved for a mortgage, and ensure that you have financing that you need to close on your home. You have the option here in Ontario to work with either a mortgage broker or a mortgage banker. And while both do offer home loans, there is a significant difference between the two. A mortgage broker works with many different lenders, which can help when you're looking for different options and lower rates. A mortgage banker, on the other hand, works for a financial institution that make loans directly to you, but is limited to only offering loan programs from that lending institution that employs them. Personally, I've found that working with a broker will sometimes yield better results than working with a banker in terms of a better rate or terms, but at the same time, I've had clients who have had great success and great experience working with a banker from a specific bank. Your real estate agent probably has a list of lender referrals that they've worked with successfully in the past, so don't be afraid to ask about that. If you'd like to receive a complete list of lenders that I've had the chance to work with my past clients, by all means put a request below and I'd be happy to send you a copy of that list with their contact information. Finding the right real estate team is crucial to the success of your home buying journey, so take your time and do your research. You want to make sure that you're working with people who understand your needs and have your best interests at heart, but also understand the market and have the experience to guide you through the process. So no, I'm not talking about your uncle's brother's third best friend who works at the local post office who happens to have their realtor license and trades real estate on the side. You want to make sure you're working with someone who knows the market, has experience negotiating deals, and can guide you through the process from start to finish, but also someone who can make the process enjoyable, because after all, buying a home should be fun, not stressful. This takes us to step number 2, getting pre-approved for a mortgage. Alright, now that you have your real estate team in place, it's time to move on to the next step of the home buying process, and that's getting pre-approved for a mortgage. Now you might be thinking, why do I need to get pre-approved? Can't I just wait until I find a home I like? Well, the answer is no. You don't want to fall in love with a home that's out of your price range, or worse, find out that you can't get approved for a mortgage when it's too late. That's why it's crucial to get pre-approved for a mortgage before you start shopping for a home. This will give you a clear understanding of how much money you can afford to spend on a home, and it'll help you narrow down your search as well. To get pre-approved, you'll need to provide your lender with some financial information, such as verification of your income, your assets, and your debts. They'll also run a credit check to see your credit score and history. Once you're pre-approved, you'll receive a pre-approval letter from your lender that will specify the maximum amount that you can actually borrow, as well as the interest rate that you're approved for. It is important to note that this pre-approval letter in most circumstances is valid for 120 days or 4 months, at which point it has to be renewed. This letter will also give you an idea of how much money you'll need for closing costs and for your down payment. I want to touch briefly on the down payment requirements here in Toronto and the GTA because they can be a little confusing. So for properties priced $500,000 or less, the minimum down payment is 5% of the purchase price. For properties priced between $500,000 and $1 million, the minimum down payment is 5% of the first $500,000 plus 10% of the portion of the purchase purchase price above $500,000. For properties priced at $1 million or more, the minimum down payment is 20% of the purchase price. It's important to note that these are the minimum requirements, and a larger down payment may be required depending on your lender's policies and your financial situation. It's also important to note that anything under a 20% down payment will categorize your mortgage as a high ratio loan, and consequently, you'll be required to pay CMHC insurance, which is essentially a loan insurance, along with your regular mortgage payments. So all in all, whatever you do not skip this step. Getting pre-approved for a mortgage will save you time, money, and heartache in the long run. And remember, your lender and real estate agent can work together to make sure that you're getting the best possible financing options. Step number 3, start your home search. Alright, now that you're pre-approved for a mortgage, it's time to start the fun part of the home buying process, the home search. First things first, you need to decide on your home search criteria. What are your must-haves and your nice-to-haves? Do you need a certain number of bedrooms or bathrooms? Is a backyard important to you? Are you looking for a specific location or school district? It's important to decide on your deal breakers right off the bat so that you're not wasting time looking at properties that do not fit your must-have criteria. Once you have your criteria in place, you can start looking at homes online and scheduling private showings with your real estate agent. There are many online home search engines available, and if you're looking for homes in Toronto or the GTA, then there's none better than our website at gtapropertyfind.ca. And I promise I'm not just saying that. The site is updated literally every 5 minutes, so you'll never miss a new listing. It's also manned by our team 24/7 so that you receive live responses to any showings that you want to schedule or questions that you may have. I also recommend setting up a custom safe search on our website that will allow you to receive automatic email updates when new properties matching your criteria hit the market. I actually made a really great tutorial on how to use our website when searching for a home and the many powerful tools that it comes with, and you can access that by clicking it right here. Now let's be honest, the home search process can be overwhelming. You might see hundreds of homes online and not know where to start, or you might walk into a home and feel like it's the one only to realize that it's not the right fit. That's why it's important to stay flexible and keep an open mind. Remember that the perfect home doesn't exist, but you can find a home that checks most of your boxes and fits within your budget. I found from working with past clients that there's usually 3 main factors when it comes to deciding on a home: price, location, and the quality of home, such as the features and finishes. And usually clients end up having to compromise on one of the 3, so that's definitely something to think about. And last but not least, have some fun with it. Home buying can be stressful, but can also be exciting and rewarding. Enjoy the process and don't forget to take some breaks to recharge and stay motivated, because it's important to remember one thing with the home buying process: it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And that takes us to step number 4, making an offer. Congratulations, you found a home that you love and want to make an offer on. This is an exciting step in the home buying process, but can also be nerve-wracking, so let's break it down. The first thing you'll need to do is work with your real estate agent to prepare the offer. The offer forms are fairly standard here in Ontario, but there are 4 key elements that are specific to each transaction and can be adjusted and negotiated in every offer. These are the purchase price, the deposit that is submitted with the offer to the seller, the closing date, and lastly the conditions. It's important to understand these 4 key terms because they are all negotiable when it comes to making a deal with the seller for a property. So I just want to go through them quickly one by one as they are very important. So number 1 is the purchase price. This is the most self-explanatory one. It's the amount of money you want to offer for the home that you want to buy. So how do you come up with this number? This is where the value of a realtor who is knowledgeable in that market will really come into play. You and your realtor can review the comparables, which are nearby properties that are similar to the one that you're making an offer on that have sold within the last 3 months or so. By reviewing this list of comps, you'll have some context to figure out the purchase price you want to offer. Number 2 is the deposit. Here in Toronto or the GTA, when you submit an offer, one of the terms of the agreement is that you submit a deposit, either upon acceptance or with the offer, that will be held by the listing brokerage on an accepted offer until closing, at which point it will be credited towards your purchase price. This deposit serves as a financial stake in the agreement and provides assurance to the seller that you as the buyer are acting in good faith. Here in the GTA, the standard deposit amount with an offer is generally 5% of the purchase price, but you can increase that amount to strengthen your offer. If your offer has conditions, which we will discuss in a few moments, that don't clear, you'll get your deposit back. But if you're unable to close on a home after entering into a firm agreement, you'll lose your deposit and could face legal consequences. One quick tip when it comes to the deposit: make sure that you have that 5% readily available because it will be due within 24 hours of an accepted offer. Number 3 is the closing date. The closing date on an offer is the day that ownership of the home goes from the seller to you as the buyer. It is the day that the money is transferred and the day that you receive the keys to your new home. Every person, whether it be a buyer or a seller, has their own timeline or circumstances. So generally, choosing a date that is favorable for both parties is a negotiable piece of the offer. One quick tip on setting your closing date: I always personally advise my clients to choose a closing date earlier in the week rather than later. The reason being, the major banks and most lenders work Monday to Friday 9 to 5. The last thing you want to do is have a closing date on a Friday where things maybe stall or there's an issue with the funds or the lender is just flat out busy and isn't able to complete your transaction before 5 o'clock. In this scenario, you would have to wait until Monday to essentially receive possession of your new home. You can avoid this whole dilemma by choosing an earlier date in the week to close, just in case. So number 4 is the conditions. When you submit an offer, you have the option to include or not include conditions. If you do not include any conditions, then once accepted, this offer becomes firm. On the other hand, if you do include conditions, then this offer only becomes firm once you waive or fulfill these conditions. The most common conditions are financing, inspection, or appraisal. One thing I do want to mention here is you do have to submit a deposit with your offer even if there are conditions. And then if the conditions do not clear or are not waived, then you do get your deposit back. And that's it. Those are the 4 key negotiable terms of an offer here in Toronto or the GTA. You should understand that your offer is not just about one of the terms, such as price, but usually a combination of all of them. The highest price offer, quite frankly, doesn't always win. Rather, it's the offer with the price and the terms that best meets the seller's needs that gets accepted. You'll want to have a conversation with your realtor about your offer strategy and which terms to add or possibly even delete that will make your offer as strong as possible. And that takes us to step number 5, closing the deal. Congratulations, you're almost there. You found your dream home, made an offer, and it's been accepted. Now don't celebrate just yet. It's time to finalize your mortgage and close on your home. The first step in finalizing your mortgage is to work with your lender to gather all the necessary documents and information. If you've already completed a pre-approval, then most of these documents should have already been submitted to your lender, but they may require just a few more that are specific to this property. Your lender will also order an appraisal of the property to ensure that the value aligns with the purchase price. Once everything is finalized with the lender, you'll receive a commitment letter that outlines the terms of the loan for your new home, which includes your loan amount, the rate, and the down payment due. Next, you'll work with your real estate agent to ensure that all the conditions that you may have included in your offer are fulfilled. Like I had mentioned, the 2 most common conditions are financing and inspection. Your lender will have taken care of fulfilling your financing condition, and you can work with your realtor to organize a physical home inspection. You absolutely want to make sure that the physical condition of the property is acceptable to you before you close, and in order to do this, you'll hire and pay before closing a general home inspector. Your goal is to make sure that you know everything about the property's overall condition so that there are no surprises after you close. If the inspectors do find something wrong, you have the right to send a repair request to your seller. Your request will be for the seller to either 1, make the repairs, 2, credit you money back at closing so that you can fix the issues, or 3, even reduce the purchase price. It's common for there to be a little bit of negotiation regarding the requested repairs, and at the end of the day, if you cannot come to an agreement with the seller, you can in most cases cancel the purchase and get your deposit back. But assuming that the inspection does pass, or you come to terms with the seller on a repair request, you are finished and you'll receive a closing statement from your lawyer usually a few days before closing, letting you know the final amount of money that you need to send them on closing day. It's important to note that closing costs can be significant, and it's on this date that you are usually obligated to pay them. The highest of the closing costs will generally be your land transfer tax and your lawyer fees. The land transfer tax is generally around 3% of your purchase price in Toronto and 1.5% anywhere outside of Toronto. Either your realtor or your lawyer will be able to tell you exactly how much that amount is. The second highest closing cost is your lawyer fees, which will usually be around $2,000 to $3,000. And that's it. On the day of closing, you'll meet with your lender to sign all the necessary paperwork and transfer the funds. Once the paperwork is signed and the funds have been transferred, you'll also receive the keys to your new home. You're officially a homeowner. I hope I've been able to shed some light on the home buying process and given you a few good ideas on how to become a more confident, knowledgeable, and successful home buyer. As promised, if you stayed with me till the end, leave a message in the comment section below and I'll send you our signature step-by-step home buying guide. If you're looking into buying or selling real estate in Toronto or the surrounding areas of the GTA, or if you have any questions or comments at all about the home buying process, please leave them in the comment section below. You can also reach out to me directly using the information in the description below, and I'd be more than happy to help. Again, thank you so much for staying with me till the end. I hope you got some value from this video, and I look forward to helping you with your real estate journey.